Hello, everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of Nerd Inspired. I'm so excited to start this project, and today we are doing a recipe and a video that I've wanted to do for a very long time. We are doing what I'm calling Phoenix cakes, and they are cupcakes inspired by one of my favorite comic book characters, Jean Grey and the Phoenix. So what it's going to be is it's going to be kind of a basic chocolate cake recipe with some cinnamon and some cayenne and nice fudgy chocolate chunks in it. And then we are going to do a cherry buttercream that's going to look like fire. It's going to be amazing. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with our dry ingredients. We have 1 1/3 cups of flour, 2/3 cup unsweetened cocoa powder, and half a teaspoon salt, about 2 teaspoons cinnamon, and then 1 teaspoon cayenne pepper. So that's going to go in. We lost some on the countertop. That is fine. We have about 1/4 cup firmly packed brown sugar. We have 1 1/3 cup regular white sugar, and we're going to do, what does it say here, 1 1/2 teaspoons baking soda, and then 1 teaspoon baking powder. And I didn't know why you would need both in a recipe, but turns out it just helps with the leavening. So we definitely want a nice fluffy cake to put our Phoenix buttercream on top of. So we're going to whisk all that together so that that brown sugar kind of comes undone. We are getting stuff. This bowl is huge and we're getting stuff on the countertop. That's fine. Alright, so we've got a batter that looks like that. It's all come together, nice and brown. We have a 1/4 cup water. We have 1/4 cup vegetable oil. We've got 4 eggs. We have 1 cup buttermilk. And we have roughly 1/4 cup of our chocolate chunk. We want to get everything out of the way as we put it together. And we're going to do 1 teaspoon vanilla in there as well. And we're going to whisk it till it combines nice and fudgy-like. Now, my inspiration for this recipe is kind of based off of my shirt, really. The contrast between the black and then the fiery hellfire that Phoenix rains down when she takes over Jean Grey, which, if you're one of those people that's only ever watched like the first set of movies and you don't know anything about who Jean Grey is supposed to be or who the Phoenix as an entity is, those movies did not do a good job. And I didn't realize that till I got into comics kind of later in my life and realized how badly those movies failed comic book fans as a whole. Because they portrayed Jean as somebody who, we're gonna get chocolate on the floor, as somebody who always had the Phoenix Force in her. We're just putting our stuff in our overhead cabinet. And Xavier had to help her sort of put up walls and figure it out. Part of that is true, but she was not born with the Phoenix Force. She was born as a very strong telepath, though. So what we have done, see if you can get a good shot of that in there. It's nice. It's fudgy. It's gonna be smells amazing. It's going to be delicious. So what we've done is we are throwing cupcake liners all over the countertop. That's what we're doing. We have lined two 6-piece, I guess, muffin tins. I would recommend getting a 12 slot one and getting 2 of those. I was at the dollar store this morning, and that's what they had to give me. So that is what I picked. We're going to use a spoon. Ooh, you can feel the... No, we're not going to use a spoon. This is fine. This is fine! We are going to locate our ice cream scoop. Aha! We found it. Trusty ice cream scoop. And you want to only fill them about 2/3 of the way, because your cake, if you've done it right, is going to rise up the rest of the way. And you don't want your cake to overflow. You don't want it to bake up too high. And it's fine if you don't have one of those really nice spring-released ice cream scoops. I don't have one. I, in fact, have 2 of the ones that aren't like that. So if you get, you know, extras on the side of the muffin tin, that's fine. Who cares? As long as your cupcakes look nice, who cares what the muffin tin looks like? Here we are. Now these, I've already preheated the oven for 325. They're going to go in for about 18 minutes, 18 to 20, depending on your oven. Oh my goodness. That one did not want to work. It's like, I don't know what it is. The muffin, like the tin liners, like the actual hole for the cupcake liner is smaller than the tin liner. So it's trying to escape. But that's okay. It's okay. We persevere. We're going to have some extra batter off of this batch, and that's fine. We'll bake it off as just like a small cake. It'll be fine. Oh my goodness. So yes, I got the inspiration from Jean. I wanted to do, yeah, the chili and the sweet chocolate chunks because, you know, when she's just Jean Grey, she really is a very nice, relatively soft-spoken woman who loves Scott Summers with all of her being, and then she goes into space. The Phoenix Force, you know, the Phoenix as an entity takes her over, and then she just loses control of everything. Loses control of her power, loses control of her relationship. It's all tragic, really. Okay. So, here we have our 2 lined cupcake tins. They're going to go in the oven, 325, 18 minutes, till they get nice and delicious. And I will see you guys in a few to do our cherry fire buttercream. Hello, and we're back. Our cupcakes have baked and they have cooled. We lost a couple due to overflowing, because that's what happens when you fill them too high. But they smell of cinnamon and chocolate and a little bit of that cayenne pepper, and I love it. So, what we're going to start on is our buttercream. So we've got 3, come out of there, Woo! Oh my goodness. All right, we're gonna use our, oh, it's because there's a little bit of water in the bottom of this. I think it's trying to stick. Okay, there's our 2 and 3. All right. 3 cups of powdered sugar, 1 cup slightly melted butter. We have 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And we're going to have 2 slightly full teaspoons of heavy whipping cream. Shove that back in the fridge. And we're going to do roughly of like a half teaspoon of the cayenne pepper in the buttercream. We're going to take our mixer. 1 second. Sorry. Looks like my battery possibly is going to die. Alright, so we're going to mix it up on low. You see how it's just kind of come together in there. It's got that red tint to it because of our cayenne pepper. So now, oh no, I unplugged my microwave. All right. Now we're gonna plug in our food processor, our little mini ninja bullet situation. Oh my God, come on. All right, guys. Sorry about that. My battery on my camera tried to die. So, where we left off, we have delicious, kind of tan-colored buttercream. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take a can of cherry pie filling, and we're going to pulverize it just a little bit. Pull the blades out. And we're going to fold about half of that in there and just kind of check the texture a little bit. And that kind of made it a little too liquidy. So we're going to put a little more powdered sugar in there. Thicken it up a little bit. Because we want it to be a pipeable consistency. So now, we'll save the other half of that cherry pie filling for maybe glazing the top of our extras cake. All right, so now we're gonna split this frosting into 3 small portion cups because we are going to color them. Yeah, it's still a little more liquidy than I would have wanted it to be. But we're going to try anyways. Okay, so the first color that we want is a really nice, bright red color. And then the next color we want is more of an orange. So we want to do a little red, a little yellow, that's really good. So there's our red. There's our orange. And then our next one is just going to be straight yellow. Now, obviously, if you are going to make these for other people, don't lick the spoon you use to stir your buttercream. But I'm just making them for me and people who don't care about my germs. So that is where we are with that. Now, I don't have any piping bags. What I do have are big old plastic bags. So we're going to use one of those. And what we're going to do is kind of fill on the side. I guess I could move it over here. What we're doing is sort of trying to make kind of a swirly effect with our frosting of all of our different colors so that we get kind of that fire effect. Do a little more yellow, a little more red, and a little more orange. Ugh, I need a paper towel. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is just kind of push it down here into the corner. And then in the other corner, we're going to cut ourselves like a piping tip so that we can then push our frosting over to the other side. And we are going now, I'm going to tell you right now that that did not turn out the way I wanted. But we still kind of have that swirly look that we were trying to get after. And, you know, that's all right. We'll call this the end of our Phoenix cakes. And I'm going to revise the recipe a little bit. And I'll come back at you guys another day with a better attempt at the buttercream. Thanks for joining me on my first episode of Nerd Inspired. And I will catch you guys on the next one.